Hello, I'm Rory O'Connor and you're here with Smooth Radio. Joining us today is Björn Ulvaeus. How are you, Björn?
Fine, very well, being here.
Thank you for inviting me to Nico's Taverna.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We're on the set of Mamma Mia! The Party. Tell me how this all came about.
Originally, I think the idea came from when the stage musical, at the end, when people stand up and sing and dance, it's almost like a party mood, or it is a party mood actually. So if there was a party next door, they'd go to it. I knew that. And then someone came to me with an idea of doing an ABBA party. And I thought, why not a Mamma Mia! Party instead?
And how is it to finally see your work in motion in London?
It's great because we did it in Sweden, and it's been running there for almost 4 years.
It's been a huge success.
But the idea from the word go was to take it to London as soon as possible. But we've been searching for a place like this for a long time, and because it's quite big, and as you can see, we've rebuilt the whole thing.
I've lived in London my whole life, and this particular bit in the O2 has never been used, so it's fantastic to see it transformed.
Yes.
I was here myself on Monday night, and I thought it was a fantastic night.
Thank you.
How was it for you to actually see your work put out there to the public?
Oh, it's every night when I watch people, being happy and singing along to every song and having a good time, it's so rewarding. It's an incredible feeling, and I really never get tired of it. I get tired of some of the music sometimes, but watching people I never get tired of.
And how is it to see other performers singing your songs?
Well, of course I have seen other performers doing our songs for a long time throughout the Mamma Mia! History. So I'm kind of used to that, but of course, during the auditions, we were very, very careful to get the right kind of people who sing pop well and who can act at the same time. So it's a joy to hear them sing.
It's been a huge success in Stockholm. You're here in London. I heard you've got your sights set on Las Vegas as well. Is that true?
That is true. I think what comes after London will be Las Vegas.
Yeah, it's got to be.
And then we'll see.
Just outside the Taverna stores downstairs, across the street, is the ABBA exhibition that's going to be opening this December.
Yes.
That's quite exciting.
It is. It's a very interesting idea for the exhibition. It's kind of taking a global perspective as a backdrop. Our songs and our career and what happened at the same time around the world. So it's a lesson in world history at the same time.
Yeah.
And it was in a much smaller version at the South Bank last year. But now it's opening here, and it's very, very timely. I think it's interesting for people who go to Mamma Mia! The Party also to know the history of the group.
Absolutely. And did you have much involvement in that, or did they just come along and say, Björn, we want all your outfits, we want all the lyrics?
No, they've had a collaboration with the museum in Stockholm.
Oh, perfect.
Yes. So I haven't been that much involved.
So the O2 is basically the place to be if you're an ABBA fan.
So it seems, yes.
Now, I have to ask, last year you all got back in the studio and you put out an announcement that we weren't expecting.
No.
What's been the reaction to that?
Well, it was a global reaction, which was fantastic, which we never expected. But we just put it out because we thought the news would get out and there would be rumors about reunion and stuff. So we put out that just to make people aware of that there were these two new songs in the can, and we thought we'd be able to release them much sooner, but because of technical difficulties in creating the digital copies of ourselves that are going to sing these songs, it won't be until next year.
Absolutely. So there's still a hold on it for this year, for 2019.
Yeah.
Well, that's still really exciting. And could it be any more than 2 songs? Or are you limiting it to,
I'm
to
saying,
2?
who knows? Who knows?
There could be an ABBA album on the cards. You never know. I mean, in part of the statement you said, it was like time had stood still and that we had only been away on a short holiday.
Yeah.
How was it to reunite? And who came up with the idea to come back together in the studio?
Well, we were approached by Simon Fuller, the man behind Spice Girls, for instance. And he had an idea about creating digital copies of ABBA, because he had seen, he lives in LA, and he had seen something happening there which was really interesting. He approached us, and we thought, yeah, that's crazy enough. That's interesting, and it's a new frontier, something no one has ever done before.
Absolutely.
So we said, absolutely, yes. Let's see what happens. Let's try and make a project out of it. And then Benny and I thought, these avatars, for want of a better word, shouldn't I have something new to sing as well? Well, yes. So we wrote a couple of new songs. We called the ladies, and they said, yeah, great. Let's meet in the studio and see if we still can sing. If it sounds bad, we won't release it. We'll just have, fun in the studio.
And how was it to be back in the studio? Once ABBA were all together back in the studio, did it feel like the old days?
Oh, yes. Yes, it was. As you said, it just took virtually, seconds. He was standing in front of one of those desks, sound desks, in the control room. And we were the 4 of us. And we were kind of looking at each other. It was so, the situation was so familiar, We'd been doing that for so many times during the 70s. So everything came rushing back. And it was like, we had met yesterday. Incredible feeling. Although we knew it was, 36 years ago or something. It's an enormous amount of time.
Yeah.
And yet we felt that. And I think it's because of the bonds that we have between us and the friendships.
And did you always know that it was going to happen one day? Did you always know ABBA were going to get back?
No, we didn't know.
No.
We didn't know. Because somehow it never happened. I mean, when we split up in 1982, we did that with a thought of maybe coming together a couple of years later and do something together again. But somehow that never happened until now.
So you've created 2 brand new songs.
Mm-hmm.
What sort of sound is it? Is it the ABBA sound we're used to, or is it completely something we've never heard of
No,
before?
it's definitely ABBA sound. That hadn't gone. The minute the 2 ladies started singing together in the studio, there it was. Same sound. They're slightly lower now because everyone, in range, but the sound is the same. And it's going to sound like ABBA, definitely. One of the songs is more timeless, not of a certain style. The other one is perhaps a little nod to the 70s, but with modern sounding instruments.
And would this be released separately to the Avatar tour, or was one
No,
come
it
first
would
altogether?
be released together with a video of the avatars.
Amazing. And I mean, it's not a hologram tour, so it's something completely
it's not.
different to that.
Yeah.
Something we haven't seen before.
Yeah, it's completely new.
I wanted to ask you about Eurovision, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
ABBA performed Ring Ring in 1973, and in 1974 you won with Waterloo. Can you give the UK some tips, because we're not doing too well?
Well, I think Eurovision has always been a bigger thing in Sweden than in the UK.
We try our best.
I don't think you do. I don't think you attract the right songwriters. Because in Sweden, at that time, in '74, you have to realize that nobody outside Sweden listened to anything coming from Sweden. It was totally dead. We sent out tapes to various people around the world, and I swear to you, they threw it in the garbage bin directly without listening to it. That's how bad it was. Sweden was out of the question. And so for us, Benny and me, it was the only way to reach outside of Sweden was through Eurovision. Now it's different.
Yeah. So
Now
Eurovision
Max
came along
Martin
and gave
and everyone else, you know.
Yeah.
But we opened the doors, I think. But we took it really seriously. And I wonder, well, of course, some songwriters in the UK have taken it seriously as well, I suppose. But no, I can't give you any tips. I mean, we had 2 songs to choose from back then in '74. One song called Hasta Mañana, which would have been much more in the typical Eurovision style at that time. And then Waterloo, which was definitely not a Eurovision song.
Yeah.
And we chose that one, only because it was more fun to perform. And so I couldn't give you any advice. I'm the last one.
Bjorn, what we need you to write us a Eurovision song. That's what we need. And of course, Bjorn, in 1977, ABBA the movie came out. Do you think it's time to reignite the biopic, update ABBA's story?
Yeah, that's what we're doing with the avatars.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Bjorn.
Thank you.